Hey, good evening everybody. Tonight I'm going to show you how to make schmaltz, which is rendered chicken fat. This is used more as a seasoning in dishes, though it makes incredible caramelized onions, and you can use it for a whole bunch of other stuff as well. I'm just making this because if you watch my other video with the chicken and tomatoes, sorry, I made so many today I've lost track. Anyways, this is the fat in the skin from about 5 pounds of chicken thighs. So what you're going to need is a chopping board, a cleaver, and a non-stick frying pan. I don't recommend cast iron for this, or aluminum or copper, because the metal will change the flavor. Either use stainless steel. I've got a non-stick here which I'm going to be using at low heat. Never use anything higher than medium because that will add a really bad flavor as well. Now I just get the pan right on the counter here. You can use gloves if you want. I'm not too concerned about washing this first because you're going to be putting boiling water in here, so that kind of negates the process. Now you want to do it in pieces that are fairly small. Now if you actually try to do the inch by inch that some recipes recommend, you're going to be here all night. So just kind of get to it and get them as small as you can, that they're manageable. Once you got that all cut up, just get your pan over medium. And like I said before, no higher than medium with non-stick. And just give that a few minutes to heat up, and wait till you see some of the fat start to come out. Now I only walked away from this for about 5 minutes or so, and you can already see how much fat is starting to come out of here. Okay? So what you want to do now, after you zoom out of course, is get some water and just add enough to cover the pieces. You don't want to drown this completely because you're going to want to boil it off again. So yeah, about 2 cups work for that. And then what you're going to do is get a lid on it and just let it keep going like this, because whenever you're rendering fat out of anything, if you've got it in water covered, the rendering process is just so much faster and less messy too. So that's been going for about half an hour or so. There's still quite a bit of water in there. So I'll keep the lid on it probably for about another 20 minutes and then take it off and just turn the heat right down to low. So as you can see, I'll zoom in there a little for you. All of the water is gone. So now you turn it right down to low. And then get yourself a pair of tongs and try to scrape up some of the bits and get them turned over. You notice they're frying up quite nicely in the chicken fat. What you want to do is get all the skin turned over so it gets that brown color right there, and all the fat comes out. Well, here's the chicken fat after another 20 minutes. That's looking like it's nearly just about done. There doesn't look to be too much fat left in the skin, though at this point, given that all the water's out and it's still sizzling nicely, I'll turn them over once more and let it go probably for another 15 or 20. Well, that looks like ain't nothing else gonna come out of that. So I think it's probably just gonna be easier, instead of straining it, since those look like they're all pretty solid, is just to pick out the big chunks and then use a little ladle to get it into the glass jar. Yeah, those are definitely just crispified. They don't even need a strainer. Just let them drip off a bit. Now, I hear tell there are some people that do eat these things, but I cannot claim for those to be heart healthy at all. And if you can't help yourself, just have a bit. And don't eat all of it. And I have a clean glass jar that I sterilized. And a canning funnel to minimize the mess. Now for this, I'm not trying to scrape out the bottom of the pan, and any little bits should just stay in the bottom. So that's not going to be a big problem. You can strain it if you want to, but I just find for the small amount of skin that's in the bottom, it's really not worth the hassle. And I know this jar is a little too big for this, but it's all I had tonight. Okay, so that's what it looks like when you're done. I'm going to let this cool off at room temperature completely before I put it in the fridge. It will keep in the fridge for a few weeks, or you can freeze it. If you're going to be using this, just use a little bit of a spoon to add flavor to whatever you're frying. It's amazing what this stuff does. I'll be using it in a few recipes in the next few weeks. But for tonight anyways, thanks for watching. Hope to see you again.